Hello and welcome to Channels Book Club. My name is Olakunle Kasumo, and it's great to be on this show. Well, a lot of things have been happening in Nigeria. Of course, everybody's aware of the politics going on and, the new governments and handing over and all that. But this is Channels Book Club, and we like to keep it focused on books. And the children had quite a time. Remember, we had the Children's Day just going past recently, and children from all over the country had fun. Lots of activities organized for children, and we all want our children reading. Well, people have been asking, are there book events in Nigeria? I was with somebody about a week ago, and she was asking, are there book events in Nigeria? And I said, what? Where have you been? Every week there are book launches and book presentations and book reading events, and people are particular about what kind of book events are out there for children. Well, there are quite a number of organizations who are doing stuff, for children, who are trying to organize events to encourage children to read. One of them is Latana Bookshop. And if you are looking for bookshops in Nigeria, well, just do a little bit of search and you find some of these bookshops that are still out there in Nigeria doing great things in terms of providing reading materials for us, and particularly for children. Well, Latana has this book reading event that goes on regularly, and there was something organized for children during the last Children's Day. And here's a little bit of what went on that day.
Latana Bookshop has organized its annual special book reading session in celebration of Children's Day. At this year's special book reading session, visiting school children read from the book Sam Learns Safety by Adejumoke Shongolano. It was double fun for the children, as this year's celebration coincided with Latana's Children's Book Reading Club Day, which holds every last Saturday of the month. Tom Gates' Super Good Skills was the literature read this year, and it taught them how to adopt good skills and be effective in their daily tasks. The event was part of the efforts to promote reading culture amongst children as well as celebrate them.
Not just Latana, the Additionals, and you'll be getting to meet them very soon, put together something for kids. Animations are getting popular all over the world. Nowadays, you watch a movie and then you find the animation, popping up and becoming very, very popular. There are quite a number of people out there who love animations more than any other thing. They'll rather watch an animation than a real movie. And quite a number of movies these days are successfully being converted into animations, that. And children particularly, young people particularly, all over the world love animations, and things are going on. The Additionals, who you're going to meet very soon, had something for young people during the Children's Day period.
After reading and studying the 14 successful and globally acclaimed novels of the Oz series created by L. Frank Baum in 1900, Jared Mark and Mark Warshaw, co-founders of the Bureau of Magic Studios, led their team to create the Emmy Award-winning animated series titled Lost in Oz.
I think we're gonna make it!
In commemoration of the recent Children's Day in Nigeria, Readland Global, in partnership with the U.S. Consulate General, organized a one-day animation training workshop and a Lost in Oz animated series showcase for high school students and teenagers. Temilolu Adesina, the co-founder, Readland Global, in her remarks, encouraged participating children to develop their creativity.
Some of you may not have been doing anything before, but there's something in you that the world needs, and except you produce it or you think it out, no one will ever do it.
Mark Warshaw, while sharing his experience, challenged participants at the hybrid event to tell African stories to the world.
There's never been a better time in the history of planet Earth to be a kid from Africa who wants to tell their story. Whoa. Here's why. because the world outside, they want to hear your story. They want to hear it really bad. So I just want to inspire you and encourage you to tell your stories. Tell them any way you can. And how do you become a great artist? It's just your passion. And your passion can turn into pay. It could be your job someday.
And straight to the movie showcase, the first episode of Lost in Oz.
You must actually say, go forth.
Mark, an Emmy Award winner, gave a breakdown of the workforce involved in the production of the series.
It was fun. You know how we started that? Is just some friends got around a table and we all just started talking. What would happen if Dorothy Gale went to Oz today? What would it look like? What would it be like? What could it... All those things. So we did so many different things to get that. We wrote the story, and then we found artists all around the world to help us envision what Dorothy would look like, and what West would look like, and what all the Oz would look like. And we hired, we worked with artists that were in Russia, and Scotland, and Canada, and
just for this project.
400 people made this show.
Wow!
Warshaw explained how their production was made to align with the present generation.
The experience of reading those books that were written so long ago, 123 years ago, and adapting it for today's audiences is, you know, you can see the things that are relevant to the way the world has evolved since then. And those are the elements that we took out of those books and wanted to infuse into the story that we told now. Now this is a story that is multiple seasons, so we had multiple episodes. So we used certain elements like the plot from those books. The very original book was really informative to the story that we told. There were certain characters that we loved to use because they just felt like they were wonderful characters that kids, we thought, would relate to today.
A representative from the U.S. Consulate, Ibrahim Aliu, noted that the event was an extension of the one-week masterclass organized by the U.S. Consulate to engage the creative sector in Nigeria.
We were able to get 2 award-winning animation makers to come down to Nigeria, and they've held a week-long masterclass for Nigerian animators, shared experience with them over the whole week. And we thought having the Children's Day coming up also, we can extend the opportunity of interacting with this wonderful guest, with the kids, so that hopefully we might be able to inspire them to go out there and do wonderful things from a very young age.
Participants discuss what they all learned from the workshop.
I've learned that truly anything is possible.
Interesting, isn't it? Well, so I found these 2 books. You know, The Secret 7, Where Are the Secret 7? Secret 7, and of course this one, The Famous 5. 5 go to Billycock Hill. Famous 5, both written by the legendary Enid Blyton. When I was young, these 2 were very popular. The Famous 5, The Secret 7. If, as a young kid, back in those days, you used to read, you probably would have seen and read either The Famous 5 or The Secret 7. There's so many of them back in the days, and I mean, this is just bringing back exciting memories. But there were pros and cons to reading books like this. Pros being you get to develop a reading culture and you really enjoy literature. Cons because, well, in a way, quite a number of us lost, you know, our local culture because we became, in a way, westernized, if you get what I mean. There were not many local books then. And even till now, not a lot of local content for our children, and that's a big problem. So we have to depend on foreign content for a lot of our children. That's a challenge that we need to solve. When you don't solve that kind of problem, what you do is that you lose your culture and you imbibe foreign culture, which in itself is not bad because, like Thomas Friedman said, the world is now flat. But we have to preserve our culture. Now, talking about kids, I spoke earlier on about the additionals. I'm going to get to meet this couple, and we've had them on our show before, but it's fantastic what they are doing with children. And of course, their own children are accomplishing a lot. So how did they do it? Or how do they do it? How do they get young people reading? How do they get young people accomplishing a lot? These are questions that a lot of us ask. We want our children to develop with reading, to develop a reading culture, to imbibe the culture of reading, to love books, don't we all? And of course, for our kids to do great things with their lives. So, how do we make this happen? We've got two special guests with us today, and you will certainly learn a lot from them. Enjoy this.
Dr. Francis and Dr. Temiloluwa Adeshino are the founders of Readland Global, an award-winning learning and leadership platform for children. Francis, who doubles as the lead strategist at Readland Global, is a brand strategist, TEDx speaker, illustrator, author, and publisher. On the other hand, Temiloluwa is also a TEDx speaker, a British curriculum teacher, and author of over 50 children's books. Through the Readland Centers, the couple commit resources to raise leaders of competence and character through special reading, digital literacy, and soft skill empowerment programs. Over 5,000 children have been registered across the learning centers in Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Zambia. The couple are blessed with 3 kids. They joined Channels Book Club to discuss ideas on raising children, helping them develop a reading culture and supporting them to achieve success.
Francis and Temi, welcome to Channels Book Club. It's great to have you again.
Thank you, Uncle Kunle.
I should be saying Dr. Francis and Dr. Temi. I don't know how you guys do it. I mean, you've accomplished so much and really, really impressive. Well done, guys.
Thank you so much, sir.
Now, a lot of parents ask me, how do I get my children reading? And, you know, parents are desirous of their children becoming successful and accomplished. And it all starts from a very young age. You know, and I know you have ideas. I know your own kids, you know, are doing so well. And you have some methods and ideas you implement in terms of raising your kids. And not just your kids. The many kids out there that you mentor and you teach and you train, you know. So, how does this work for you? I would like you to share your personal experiences in terms of what you've been able to do or what you do consistently that help your children, you know, first of all, develop reading culture, and then, of course, you know, to succeed in various areas. I'm sure there are tips in there for somebody out there.
Okay, so I would say I woke up to the fact that the way that at that time, how we're raising our children, if we don't raise them better, we will not get what we wanted. Remember then I was teaching, and I said, no, something has to be done. They're not reading well. Something has to be done. They need some extra. School wasn't giving us what we needed. Exactly. We woke up when our first child was 7, and the next was 5, and the last was 3, around that time. And I said, this has to stop. TV has to stop. They can't spend all afternoons watching TV. They can't spend all day not getting anything extra apart from school assignments. And I say we really woke up. And what we decided was to go and charter books for them. And said, this is the culture in this house. No TV. So we turned off the TV.
Yeah. Let me add to that. Any process.
And you are saying this right now in a TV station. No, just kidding. No, just kidding. It's fantastic.
Any process, when you want to think it through, starts with focus. So the first level of thinking is focus. So now if our expectation is that there will be readers, so the focus is they should read. And when you're doing, when you want to focus on a thing, you remove distractions. So TVs.
I think at first we bought 40
books.
Yes.
Then it got
but
to
they were exciting books. But it got to a point they were
we're not buying like 150 books, 200 books, I made it a commitment.
You were buying 200
every
books.
month.
And that was why one of the things that helped us open up our house library to other children in the community.
Yes.
Children will spend time till like midnight reading.
Wait, let me get what you guys are saying. You were buying up to 100 books.
We did, believe me.
200 books every month.
So when your children saw so many books and all the distractions were removed, they didn't have a choice than to read,
That
right?
was the only thing. They devoured the books.
Yeah, so each time we bring in books, it was like a party. They're excited.
Unconsciously,
So
we're
this-
collecting books. Famous 5 series, Secret 7, we're collecting
So they
series.
started breaking records reading. Imagine Mojoy at 8, she's already read like 500 books.
Yeah, she was saying
500 books.
Yes.
And to
At
now
8.
and to now make it systemic, we now moved from home library to community library. But before we now shift that to community library,
We made them accountable.
Accountable. It means
There was
they approved
accountability.
the books to be public.
Okay.
No, apart from that also, we ensured, when we started, we said every Friday was a public speaking day for them. So they'll pick out of the books you read during the week. Just pick one favorite one.
Presentation.
So it was a must.
A presentation in front of you.
Yes, in front of us.
in front of
We
you.
stayed there. And so we gave them over 10. I can't forget. They were presenting the books to
So
us.
reading was exciting.
Mom, what are you going to give us for getting the highest mark? What are you going to give the person that has the highest mark? That was how we started.
Wow. Can you tell me a few things they've been able to achieve?
Okay.
I know they are authors, published authors. Give us a few other things, maybe 2, 3 other things.
Okay.
I know 2 of them are programmers, right?
All of them are.
All of them are programmers. Give me a few.
Okay. Like Mojo is one of the youngest Cisco certified professional instructor
In the world.
in the world at age 13.
13.
Yeah.
She had her
Python.
CCNA.
She had her
completed her
CCNA.
CCNA at that time.
And her Python scoring 92%.
Level 1. Python level 1. She
Then
just completed that.
She also
Some months ago.
represented Nigeria in robotics AI in Malaysia out of 25
In
countries.
2021.
In 2021.
I think she was about 12.
2021, 2022.
She was 12 at
Out
that time.
of 25 countries, including Russia, Syria, Malaysia,
Iraq, Iran.
Iran.
The best of programmers.
The best of
Programming
programmers,
countries in the
you
world.
understand?
Yeah.
She's one of the.
And she's how old now?
She's just 14. She's just
14.
But she's done all that before.
Please
14.
go on sorry for the
That's from Mojoin. Bolori, that is 10, now 11, won the recent Kucheza mobile game global challenge. He
Under
created
12.
game
Global
under
challenge.
13.
Under
Okay, under
13.
13.
Under 13.
Global.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
yes. It's a big competition.
He's also is a pop award-winning author. He's also won
After he wrote the book Super Brain Boy, then he created the Super
the game.
Brain Boy game.
It's on Play
It's on
Store.
Play Store.
So he has 2 of
Anyone
his
who
games.
wants
Created the game.
Yes, he created the game.
He's also fascinated with superhero, the life story, his challenges.
can tell you a lot
I know you can go on and on. This,
Yeah,
your kids,
then
your kids.
Mofe is the last.
The
She's
baby.
9. She's the
She acted
baby.
in-
She's also a digital artist. Her works have been featured in a
She
UK
loves
magazine. Then she
writing.
loves acting. She just did a movie Cold Feet, and it won 5 international awards, including Paris International Movie Festival.
Okay, now, your kids don't go to school.
Yeah.
That's the one that trips me the most. All these accomplishments, they don't go to regular school. Is that correct?
Yes.
You do homeschooling for them.
Yes, sir.
We've
Can
homeschooled them since 2020.
You have to explain this to me. Tell me you were a teacher.
Exactly.
I taught for
you resigned.
11 years, yes. I resigned in 2014, from
2014.
regular teaching. And
Oh,
I mean
okay.
from 9 to 5 teaching in a school.
I'm coming to you. Francis, explain this homeschooling idea.
Yeah, the homeschooling idea is not as if it started so smooth. Because
For the 3 of them.
yeah, because my wife also has her own version of it. But at the point we came together, for me, we always have these more expectations from schools. That's from my own perspective.
Which were never met.
Huh?
The expectations were never met.
No,
Never
they
met.
were not met.
Never met. So there's this expectation for knowledge that I desire in each one of them. And I have this vision that the home should have this extraordinary dimension of knowledge sharing that should be normal. So I have an expectation for Mojoin because I know she can. I have an expectation, and I know the school can make that happen.
So you pull them out of school?
Technically, it was not deliberate.
We looked and searched for schools around us.
You were looking for schools that
could fit
that can fit into
what we
want.
wanted.
And you did not find?
And we did not find.
So you stopped them from going to school?
We stopped them from going to school.
Okay, so what happens when they wake up? What happens? Well, give me a typical day.
A typical day, most of the time, I wake them up with prayers and I pump my expectation in words to wake them up. Example, I'll say, Mujoyin Adesina, you are the most sought after programmer in the world. You understand? And I'll say it in alignment to their desires. So we always have this yearly thing. What's your biggest or ultimate vision? So my responsibility as a father is to make it happen.
Well, I am like their academic officer. So this is what I do with them. Oh, you have mathematics. What's the new topic for this week? Every week there are new topics for different things. They form their notes themselves.
How do you develop the curricula they use?
Okay, so because I've taught for several years, I have curriculums.
Then don't forget Readland is there. So the curriculum.
So then I have curriculums that I've even shared with friends over time. So we know what we are following. And then because we have good textbooks, I have a list of textbooks that we need to buy. And so we know the good ones out there. And so what we do is, majorly, when we look at it, oh, this is the project for this, or this is the topic for this week. Which textbook will be good for this? Oh, this is the textbook you are using. So we use textbooks and then we complement with worksheets as well. And that's how we develop.
Let me add that to that, so that we'll not go back to curriculum. One thing also that we have expertise in, and that's one of our code in Readland, is our ability to curate curriculum that transform hobbies to skill in a faster cycle. Then immediately we convert that skill to expertise at professional level to certification. That's why when Mujoyin moved from, we identified this hobby, we now convert it to skill. Skill means it's a conscious, deliberate ability to get something done. Then we now quickly convert that skill to expertise at the level of certification. Then we like pushing them into Cisco courses that is in alignment with the origin of the source of that hobby. Then we now convert that competence into impact, valuable, measurable impact. How do we do that? We push them into competitions to be sure that what we're doing is really making sense, even at the global space. So then after doing that, we will now tell them, what do you want to change in your community? Then how can we convert that to cash? Because we don't believe that you don't need to be old to make money.
No, start now.
Start now. So like what they are doing majorly now is the business part of life.
What I did was the academics part.
Yeah.
And but to be able to deploy what he's saying to help accentuate the academics, we have to develop that part, which school doesn't have time to do.
Francis and Timmy, sorry, we are out of time. I'm sure viewers want to hear more. So I am promising viewers that we are going to build on this, okay? So we're going to do more of this.
No problem.
All right. So thank you for joining us on Channels Book Club.
Thank you for having us.
Yes,
We are so grateful.
We'll surely continue this.
Dr. Olakunle Kasu.
Should I say an amen to that?
I am already applauding to that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Francis.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you very much. So much packed in there. We can't have enough time with the additionals, and we'll certainly be bringing them back very soon. But this is where we have to end the show today. As always, we'll be delighted to get your feedback through any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. My name is Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.